own a home or have plans to in the future? Or are you upside down in your mortgage and need help? Tune in right now to the Call Toni Real Estate Radio Show with Toni Patillo and her co-host Carla Dennis. This is where you come to learn about buying real estate. Here's Toni.
Hello, Los Angelinos. I'm your host, Toni Patillo, and you're listening to Call Toni Real Estate Radio here on KTLK AM 1150. I'm here with my co-host, Carla D. Carla Dennis in the house.
Today, Toni, we're going to switch gears here. We're going to switch some things up, and we're going to get to know our very own Toni Patillo. Every week, Toni hosts this wonderful show, but we hardly get an opportunity to learn about Toni and her business. She's certainly not an individual that's going to toot her own horn, but there's a lot behind Toni Patillo. So this is an opportunity for us to find out what's really going on. So, Toni, are you ready?
I don't know about this. You know, how deep are we going to go, Carla?
Not too deep. I've known you for a while now, and certainly it's been a pleasure to know you from a business perspective, a personal perspective, and I get a lot of joy out of that.
Yeah.
I want you to tell our audience a little bit about your background and your career journey.
I'm actually a native of L.A.
Okay.
Born here, not raised here, born here. My parents took me up to, my sister and I actually, up to Washington State, and we were raised on an Indian reservation.
Interesting.
In Yakima, Washington, believe it or not. Some people hear about Yakima and they go, what? Yakima, what? My mom was a real estate broker, and she got an opportunity to relocate up to Washington State when I was 5 years old. And so it's my mom, my dad, myself, and my sister and I, we went to Yakima. And when we got up there, my mom went to sign into her new position.
Okay.
They saw that she was African-American, and suddenly the position was no longer available.
Interesting.
So that was a big shift for our family.
Right.
And immediately we had to kind of regroup, and my mom packed me up and said, we're going to Seattle.
She says, we're moving fast.
Yeah, we're moving fast. We went to Seattle. Make a long story short, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest.
Got it.
My mom we came back from Seattle because she didn't find work there in the real estate arena. So we came back to Yakima, and my parents got super involved in the civil rights movement. And their whole objective was to work with the community there and help the young little African-American kids to kind of get in touch with who they were.
Right, and be proud of who they are.
And be proud of who they were.
Right.
So this was what I grew up in.
Right.
And when I graduated from high school, I went back to Seattle myself, and I went to college. I graduate, get out of school, go to Seattle. Then my sister says, come back to L.A., come to L.A. because I need you to help me in my music career.
Nice.
So that's what my transition was back into Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And my sister was doing her singing thing, and I was actually managing her career.
Nice.
And that is where I made my transition into entertainment. So I started out with my sister. Of course, she wasn't paying that much, so I had to leave her.
It doesn't matter, family or friends.
No, I said, I love you, but this is not really cutting it, right? So I ended up landing a job with Dick Clark.
Nice.
Right here in Burbank. Nice. Right across the street, 3003 Burbank.
Wow.
Or Olive Avenue, rather.
Dick Clark.
The Dick Clark, absolutely. It was an amazing experience. And was with him for 5 years, was very instrumental in taking him public.
Okay.
So that was really an honor and quite a pleasure and an experience.
Nice.
From there, I was recruited by Berry Gordy and Suzanne DePass. I went to work for Motown, and 15 years.
Nice.
In the Motown University, we called it. So that was amazing. It was working with music, artist development, television. I primarily went into the television division.
Right.
And we called it intellectual properties, which was part of one of my tags when I made the transition from entertainment to real estate.
Nice.
I was going from intellectual property to real property. So I moved my mom down here right in the beginning of my real estate career, which was quite interesting. She ended up having to have a heart surgery. And so that put a little bit of pressure on me, because now I got to really work. Right? I really have to perform. But I had several clients who were going through similar challenges and values were dropping and people were starting to lose work and the whole thing started shifting. And I thought, holy moly, I've got to help these folks get through this, right?
Right.
It got worse and it got worse. And as you know, 2007, it was really bad. In the latter part of 2007, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. People say, well, how did you do it? How did you get through it? I put my focus on other people and on other things. And we want to remind you that we're here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on Call Toni Real Estate Radio on KTLK AM 1150, where we're committed to bringing you tools for positive change. If you tuned in late and you'd like to go back and listen to the full show, please go to calltoni.com. That's calltoni.com and click on the previous show's link. You can always call us on our off-air number. That's 888-309-9797. That's 888-309-9797. We want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and friend us on Facebook. And as always, we want you to have a magical, magical weekend. Thanks for tuning in.